So I've been thinking more about how Americans could stand up to corrupt political figures that are empowering the Third Reich. And I feel a little dirty suggesting it, but I think one strategy that could work would be something similar to what the convoy did in Canada, with a few major differences. The convoy in Canada employed a number of tactics in Canada that were inhumane, like blaring horns in areas that people were trying to sleep in, also claiming that they weren't doing that literally on live stream while you could hear horns blaring in the background. That's inhumane and nobody should ever do that. But the convoy did do things like clog up streets with bouncy castles. They built structures in places that they were not supposed to. They did a whole bunch of things that should have required permits that they refused to get. They crossed the line in a thousand little ways, layering things on top of things so that addressing any one of them made people feel silly, but overall they kind of got out of control really fast. You inherently look silly when you're complaining about bouncy castles and hot tubs. But moreover, the people involved in the convoy, and again, I'm not saying this is moral, they use their kids as human shields, which sounds reprehensible because it is, especially given the reasons that the convoy people were doing things and the fact that they were being organized by foreign governments seeking to destabilize Canada. However, when the government is completely out of control and you're scared for your kid's safety anyway, why not at least let him have a bouncy castle? Unfortunately, Americans don't really have a choice about whether or not their kids are going to be exposed to this stuff or not. It's different than, during the convoy. That was mostly just a whole bunch of people mad at pretend problems. These days, you have Christy Nome, speaking from a little pulpit that has a phrase that clearly means that they plan on doing more awful things to people. And for the record, like everybody kind of keeps talking as if that guy wasn't told to go find someone and end them. I don't think that's true. He's taking a video of what he does. He wants to prove that he's following orders, or at least that's my read on things. Quite frankly, what would the authority do if bouncy castles were all over the National Mall? What would they do if people were live streaming constant parties, people waving signs with photos of good people who have been stolen by powerful men? What would happen if artists and performers started putting on free concerts that they weren't supposed to do? What, you're going to tell Taylor Swift that she can't put on a concert in Washington, D.C.? How dare you? Clogging the streets with tour buses that aren't allowed to be there, preventing presidential motorcades from moving back and forth. What would happen if you trapped the angry, senile piece of shit inside of a party he's not invited to?